Welcome back to another episode of ExcaliburCCGTV's comics reviews. We are going to be reviewing these books, in-depth spoilers, everything. So if you're not ready for it yet, stop, go read, come back, watch. Let's listen to some music right now. You're back. We thank you for coming back. As you can see, we're a little light here today. It's football season. What can I say? People would rather be watching football right now than reading comics. That's ridiculous. However, Chris is here. Randy's here. We're going to be talking about some incredible books this week. From this week, this is from September 11th. 2013. We had a little bit of time off here. We're back for sure, and it's a longer episode. So make sure that if you are on the go or if you don't have time to sit down and watch everything, that you find our link at the bottom, you download the MP3, or just do what I do. Watch a little here, watch a little there, and before you know it, you've watched the whole episode.
One bite at a time.
5 minutes at a time there. That's usually how it goes for me.
Yeah.
I like to see which angle is best for me. Should I? If you notice, I'm usually, while we're doing this, sitting on this side, so they get to see this side of me, but when we're in the store, I'm on this side, so they're always seeing that side of me. So
yeah.
So, do we really look that different with our different sides? I don't know. So, we are going to do something a little different here. We usually take a look at our number ones, and then we'll do a little round table with a new book that's come out. However, there isn't really a new book that's come out that I think just absolutely knocked everybody's socks off here. So what we're going to do instead, we'll look at our best of the week, and then we'll just toss some books out there and see real quickly what we thought of them, good or bad. So Stay tuned, and we'll entertain.
My pick of the week for this week, Ghosted number 3. Josh Williamson, of course, Goran Sudzuka on art. But Josh Williamson, if what happened in this issue sticks, if it's for real, it's like a game changer already in issue number 3. It's like how can you do that? And we can talk about it. So I am spoilers. Here we go. We had a long review just a few episodes back on our review episode talking about Ghosted 1 and 2, number 3 hitting the shelves. We got you up to speed on that one. This issue, we find out that there is a lot more going on and a lot more connection between the collector and the heist and what he's wanting collected. In this issue, we get more interaction with the ghosts themselves at this Trask mansion. We see that the collector has actually been involved with events that have happened at the Trask mansion. You see more of the ghosts. You see, the readers see the ghosts. Much more so, the characters are not. They see some, but not all of them. And at the beginning and the end of this issue, we see Jackson Winters, the guy pulling off this heist, hanging from a rope. And the skeptic in the group is thinking that the only way to truly steal a ghost from this place is to do so by possession. So you're like, what in the world? This dude is hanging and gasping for life. He's the main guy. How are you gonna write yourself? He's like let the floor drop out. Josh Williamson has let the floor drop out underneath him, as far as I'm concerned. And if he's got to have a way. I don't know, man. This is like way out on the end of the branch, man. He's just hanging by a pinky because you've got to have a way to bring it back or make it come back that will make sense and still keep the feel of what we've been experiencing so far with this book.
Right.
Get a lot of stuff in this issue. It's kind of all over the place, but it's not a bad all over the place. Like we were talking beforehand, it's a good all over the place. You get bits and pieces here that all culminate by the end of the issue into what's going on. And I'm the only thing I hate about this series is I don't have number 4 in my hand already.
The one bad thing about this issue might be that it's our main character who's hanging from the rope.
Yeah.
There, so you can't expect him to meet his demise. Now, if he's the one to become possessed, that is possible. If it was any other character from the group that was hanging from that rope, I might think that's the end of him.
Yeah.
So that may be one downside. I like that we see that the Collector is not exactly who he appears to be. He may be a whole lot older than what he's led everybody to believe.
Yeah.
I like that his right hand man, or the lady of the group, I forget her name, that she is going along with the heist.
Yeah.
Rather than sticking by the Collector, because there are some things that have to be done in order to get the job accomplished here. And also, I like that the Collector is almost aware of what's going on outside of his bedroom the whole time here. So he's essentially allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
So those were some really cool little details that they threw in there that I was not expecting from the book, and I like that there's tons that I get that I don't expect.
Right.
The ghost was very mean.
All of them, those dark, shadowy ones, and then the one that threw him off the balcony there, or whatever. That was
You do get a kind of a Stephen King Shining moment with the girl in the hallway thing, but and that's the most normal looking of the ghosts, but still, that was pretty freaky.
Yeah, and you see what the Collector did to her.
Yeah.
Just like straight up. Yeah.
So, but she was one of the ones from the photos there, so she might have been, they might both be family members from the group there. So I don't know if the evil looking ghosts are family members or if they're lost souls that have just become so corrupted or what. But great pick with that, because damn, that's a good book.
Man, it is, man. This is one of the. I mean, there's so many Image comics that are killing it right now.
Yeah.
They're like, when they come out, they're at the top of my stack. I'm reading those before I'm reading anything from Marvel or DC almost every week.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's like Image stuff, and then then Infinity, and then whatever, because they're just putting out so many good things.
And I think this was the top of my stack, and the only reason I had a certain Marvel book at the second in my stack was because I wanted to see, did this book get better? And it did not.
It did not.
You may find out what that book is.
He's dying to tell you, folks.
The other thing that really excited you on Wednesday as you were perusing the shelves was that Joshua Williamson is also the man behind Captain Midnight from Dark Horse Comics.
Yes.
And so I guess that's Nathan has before said he loved the Zero issue on that. I don't read a lot of the throwback characters that they bring into the current time period, a la Captain America or something like that, but it almost makes me want to go pick that up just because he's writing it there, and I've had a glowing recommendation for it from somebody else.
And on our site, on our Facebook page as well, I think Buzz actually was giving a thumbs up to the Captain Midnight as well.
Yeah, he's said so in the comic shop as well. So there you have it, guys. Chris' pick of the week is Ghosted number 3. It was going to be mine if he did not choose this. That should tell you just how good this is. Bruce and anybody else out there who's looking for a new book, this is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one right there that it's far enough in, and it's also not, I don't think it's gone and sold out from distributors yet. I haven't seen anything with that, and so you may be able to still pick this up, the first couple of issues up for cheap right now because of that. But I guarantee you it's going to catch fire.
Yeah.
So that's Chris' review. We'll be right back here, and we'll have my review next.
Awesome.
We're back, guys. I am now going to talk about Manhattan Projects number 14. If Ghosted was not going to be my pick of the week, then this was going to be my pick of the week, and Chris revealed the same thing. If not this, then the other. What I loved about this issue, this book is crazy, zany, mind-blowing all over the place with its concepts, with its character development, with everything. And in this issue, we really get to see kind of the most mundane side of all of the scientists. I like that we get to see almost some realistic friendships kind of forming, or developments that come out of the friendships. You have, first off, you have Einstein, who is revealing to Feynman, I'm not exactly who I appear to be. You know, he's finally opening up and saying, look, I've got to get this off my chest. Unfortunately, Feynman, I guess, is an ultra lightweight who just sniffed the whiskey or brandy or whatever and was out. So he didn't get to hear the reveal. And shortly thereafter, Einstein's out as well. The other one that was really, really neat was getting to see Yuri and Werner talking with each other in the steam room.
Right.
I mean, that was, you take a look at two guys whose historically their countries were absolutely at odds with each other, Russia and Germany, and the fact that these two men find some common ground, and it's not even two geniuses. Werner is the genius, and Yuri's just a dumb astronaut. Essentially, that's what he is. I mean, it's been revealed that the dog was the smart one in the group with that. So you get to see this whole dynamic that I haven't seen in the book before, other than with the two scientists. I'm going to cheat here and tell you their names because I can never remember. DeLeon and Fermi. With those two, that's the closest relationship bond that you've seen formed between characters here.
Right.
Also, with a group full of scientists, what ends up happening in this issue is that good old John Kennedy, President of the United States, decides to take out this Manhattan Projects because it's bigger than them, it's beyond them, and there is no way that they should be working with Russians in any capacity.
Right.
And the you've never seen the group as vulnerable as they are by the end of this. They're in essentially a Guantanamo Bay-esque type situation, and there's no way out. However, the scene stealer, Oppenheimer. And I'm going to have to go back and look, because is this the first time that they told us in the cast Joseph Oppenheimer or Joseph Oppenheimer?
No, I think I've seen him before.
Has it been before? Because we now have where Robert Oppenheimer's starting to slowly gain control back of the situation. And it looks like just as Joseph, I'm gonna go with that just because Oppenheimer's a European name there. That Joseph, just as he's getting his goals realized, things aren't so wonderful in his mind. Here comes Robert now to put a stop to his plans, maybe. So it's been interesting just to see where Hickman takes his book.
I know, dude. I know, man. It's crazy.
And nowhere that he's taken it have I thought it would go. I mean, they got past World War II, and I thought, okay, now they are going to deal with the space flight program. They're going to do, and which was going on. But that's almost not what's been important with this part of the story. It's been a lot more of the wheeling and dealing, and as they said, as fractures form, well, there really hasn't been fractures. I mean, I almost feel like the group's gotten tighter.
I know, yeah.
It's just Oppenheimer's, You know, absolutely crazy. And I love the fictitious book. It's not a real book. The Feynman's, what do they have? Feynman's, the recorded Feynman. It's a fictitious book, but I love the quotes that they give you the hint at the beginning of it, and you're like, oh, I wonder. And then at the end of it, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Yes, they're awesome little nuggets.
So, anything you want to add on that?
I love it. This book, on top of the strong sci-fi presence that it has, it still combines. It's still like genre morphing, genre combining going on. Because until this issue, I had almost forgotten about the time era in which this is taking place. So it's like it makes total sense whenever you have a conglomeration of international candidates, scientists, and other people like what you have in here working together and accomplishing something. It's just so typical for a government to come in and want to dissolve it or take control of it.
Yeah.
And then for something as petty, for it to be simply the fact that they're working with Russians, which makes sense though during this era, during this time.
Sure.
But to me, it's just still like kind of petty.
Well, I mean, it is in the aspect that they have said we're bigger than America. There are more important things that have to go on here to progress humanity than America. And the Russians have said the same thing. Yeah. There's something bigger than Russia. And so neither one of them are affiliated with the other. So it is petty that the president knows that they're working with Russians, but they're not working with Russia. Right. The thing I want, if I ever get the chance to ask Hickman what's going on with the time frame, is this storyline I think starts off 6 months after World War II ends, and of course they kill Truman. Truman dies. Truman is no longer part of the equation. Well, Eisenhower was president after. So I don't know. I mean, Kennedy was one of the youngest presidents. I don't know how at this time period Kennedy's old enough to be the president, or what has happened to Eisenhower. You know, so there's all sorts of stuff there that I don't know if that's a historical hiccup that's gone on here, or if that's something where the hiccup was more so in the time frame they said passed. And so more time has passed than they actually meant to, or than they actually told us there. I don't know. Other than that little thing that keeps me up at night. Other than that, there's nothing with this book that I can complain about. And you said it before. This here is a smart book. Yeah. And it does not make you don't have to be smart to read it. It does not make you feel stupid, but it is a very smart book in what they deal with here. And so I feel we have two excellent choices here this week for people. And damn it, I don't know what is wrong with some of you people. You're going and you're picking up Saga. Pick up Manhattan Projects. This book here is just as good.
Yeah, in its own way, it's just as good.
Yeah, I just that boggles my mind that Manhattan Projects does not get the same love there.
Yeah. I mean, if you're wanting something so different, if you're a sci-fi lover and you want something just different, out of the box, I mean, Saga is a great example, and this is another one.
Yeah.
And East of West. Oh my God.
And East of West, and Fatale, and Ghosted, and Lazarus, and
between Manhattan Projects and East of West, I would probably say East of West is a bit more in line with the total with Saga, with it just being so completely different. Because Saga just has all these bits and pieces of everything kind of put together. East of West kind of reminds me more of that than Manhattan Projects, but they're both just awesome. I mean, if you really like alternative history, Hickman just excels at that. It's just awesome.
Yeah. And if you can find the trade on Pax Romana, that one was fantastic. It is some in-depth reading. It's before he went to Marvel, so he hasn't really learned the editorial game yet. But man, talk about the alternate history of the life and times of Roman Catholic Church and Christ. It's well worth the read.
See, I haven't read that yet. I need to one day pick it up and read it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, there you have it. Those are our number one picks, guys. We'll be back with our little fast-paced, we're not going to take a lot of time with it, but our fast-paced looks at the other books that came out this week. Welcome back to the last segment here, guys. We're going to take a look now at some of the books, Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, independent companies here, whatever books there might be. We're just going to give you a quick wrap-up. Should you pick it up? Yes, no. Was it worth a read? Was it something that was also in contention there for Best of the Week? Whatever. But since there's only two of us and we have the time, we're going to take that time to just inform you a little bit on other reads here. So, talk to me about Clone.
Clone number 10. This is an Image comic series that we have been pimping. This is a great series, guys.
Great series.
This particular issue was probably like the most, I don't know, to me in many ways, probably the most emotional of the series, and probably the best of the series so far to me. Luke has been on this ever since this whole Clone saga has started for him. I'm not making a pun towards Star Wars. Has started for Luke in this series. He immediately got, what made him so unique and special was the fact that he and his girlfriend, she got pregnant and they've had a baby, and he's the alpha clone. So that was remarkable. But ever since that has happened, they've been separated. They've been taken by the powers that be that started this whole conspiracy and everything that's been going on with them, all the way up to the Vice President of the United States. And in this issue, Luke finally gets reunited with his significant other and his baby.
Right.
And this is the first time he's seen his baby.
It was touching. Gamma's part was also a very emotional, touching moment, as well as the clone that took the time to save his wife, Luke's wife. You had way too many moments there, that were emotional. So they showed that they can do the heart as well as the action in that book.
It was great. Especially, I love what you said about Gamma, because oh man, at the beginning and the way that guy treated him, and then later on, he had the upper hand and got what he wanted, and it was really emotional. This was a great issue. Get the trades, guys. Get the issues. Get it.
Yes.
This is another great one. Consistently great read
From Image.
Yes.
For me, Rachel Rising, number 19. Awesome book. This is celebrating 20 years with Terry Moore and Strangers in Paradise. Rachel Rising is his second book to write after Strangers ended. He wrote Echo and now Rachel Rising. Rachel Rising is a horror story here that deals with the witches of Salem that are apparently immortal, have lived through time, and are still here. And it deals here today, and deals with the original witch herself, Lilith, and the Garden of Eden, and all this in it.
Really?
Yeah. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, what's awesome with this is if you like the horror stuff, if you like things like Avatar, but you don't necessarily like the gore, Terry Moore can give you some of the creepiest, most insane moments in a book that just chill you, but it doesn't have the gore. Now he has some things with, like, the snakes crawling into the person's mouth to possess them, or crawling out and stuff, which I don't really want to see that, but he draws it real purdy like, because he is an awesome artist. But this book, it's so in depth, it's hard for me to say pick it up. I think there are 3 trades out to it right now.
Okay.
Pick those up and just don't miss this series, especially if you like clever horror comics. Give me another one.
Another one that was a great one, Avengers Arena, 15.
Yes.
Yeah, 15. At the end of the last issue, we saw the Bloodstone Kid. Oh man, he just became this. He became this monster and went to wailing on X-23.
Yeah.
And then we see the continuation of that battle with X-23, and then with other members of the cast as well. And they finally get him out of that state. But there's a sacrifice that was made, so we don't know yet until the next issue if there was an actual death achieved or what. But it's been awesome. Because everybody's just like the name of X-23, you know. Ooh, everyone's so scared. He's like, no, whatever.
The best moment of the book might have been when the creature there, Parasite, the Parasite pins her against a tree, and she says, I don't have an answer for you. You know, I don't know how to defeat you. And that right there was awesome.
Yes.
That here she is, that finally she's not prepared for something. And also, Dennis Hopeless absolutely picked the best time to tell Nara's story.
Yeah.
And made me actually like this character that you really did not like beforehand.
Exactly.
So, big kudos on that. Excellent read.
Oh, we're wrapping it up, too. I really hope it keeps that momentum, and I'm kind of ready to see some more things that stick, like some people go and stay gone. So we'll see.
We'll see. Sidekick number 2. This right here, it's a tough read. I'm not going to lie. It's a tough read because it is dark and it is dismal and it is just spiraling down the drain, and there's no happiness. There's no good in this. And there are certain parts of this book where the doctor that he goes to, the scientist he goes to that's trying to find out whether or not there's been this chronal anomaly.
Right.
When that scientist then turns around and calls him the butt buddy or whatever it is, it was like, that's out of nowhere, and it felt forced, and there was no natural reasoning for it. And there are too many parts of this book where I'm not sure where it's going. So whereas I raved about the first issue and I said pick that one up, I don't know if I can really do that with this second one. And I hate to say that because J. Michael Straczynski is so good of a writer that I know this has to be going somewhere. The other part of it is what I feared with Tom Mandrake's art previously really kind of showed up here in this. I didn't really care for that. So I don't know about you, but for me, it was kind of a miss.
Yeah. I'm gonna still check it out. I'm gonna give it a few more issues because I was prepared going into the series with what I read from Straczynski's interviews that it was going to be dark and somber and just kind of maybe a little uncomfortable. But I'm gonna check it out. Another one that I want to go back because I'm a little behind on my reading. I want to go back to the previous week for one book, and I think that you'll agree with me. I was not really expecting much from this whole villains event, Villains Month from DC.
Oh gosh.
And of course I'm getting the point whatever issues with the series that I regularly collect, but Green Arrow 23.1 was off the chain with Count Vertigo.
Yeah.
That was so worth it. That was such a surprise, just a surprise for me because as I got to finally read it like last night, and I was just like, what? It made me hope that Lemire has so much more to do with this character of Count Vertigo than just him just being there 2 or 3 issues and then we're past that. I really hope that he can set him up as a major, to make him like, I don't know, his Green Arrow's Doctor Doom to the Fantastic Four or something. This big, ominous threat and presence in his life.
And since this is a review show, we can spoil stuff. I mean, that's what I warned him against. With that issue, it was one of those things where you went, oh, okay, well, his mother. I recognize where he's at. His mother's here. They've got all this. I did not expect him to kill his mother.
Yeah, yeah.
That right there just blew my mind. Especially with when the kids are talking about his mother, and he gets upset and just like tears into him.
Yeah, exactly.
You did not expect for him to then turn around and call her those same things, and then be like, "Your life's not worth it."
And I know, man, because he was so defensive about her.
Yeah.
But it was like in a lot of families, I can pick on my brother, but you can't.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the mentality that he had with that, and it was like he's the one that's going to make sure that she pays for how things ended up, good or bad.
Yeah.
It was tense. It was really, really good.
Guys, X-Men number 5 came out. This is the third part of Battle of the Atom. Fun book. Brian Wood, I love what he's doing here. The dynamics between the characters, and that it's not just la-di-da-di-da, we're skipping around holding hands, everything's fun and dandy. I like that he has Storm and Rachel kind of at odds with each other. You have Jean Grey and Scott Summers on the run because something doesn't seem right with them. Just when they think that they are going to escape, all these X-Men come charging in, and Rachel and Rachel Summers and Kitty Pryde both made a good point. They're 2 youngsters, and you're sending 2 blackbirds after them full of fully trained X-Men. How do you think they're going to react? Rachel's trick there to mask them so that they could escape, Scott and Jean could escape. When they show up on Utopia, which we now know where Scott Summers' new school is located, it's located on his old school on Utopia. When they show up there, I did not expect that. I did not know who they were going to go see, who they could turn to for help. That was a total game changer for me, and it's something that's a pleasant surprise. The other thing here is that David Lopez does some of the best artwork, and his Wolverine and some of the things he does look so much like some of John Cassidy's work here that I love that he's channeling that, and he's morphing his style into something a little more detailed while still keeping that very kinetic kind of action that goes on in the story there. So good book. You want to give a mention about that one?
Yes. Avengers. This was issue number 19. This was, guys, we talked about the Infinity series. Jonathan Hickman, art by Jerome Pena, Dustin Weaver, and Jim Chung. And Randy pointed out, like, the point issues to that series are the New Avengers and Avengers comics that are coming out.
Right.
And you've got some other ancillary tie-ins with Avengers Assemble and stuff like that. The main ones you should be reading are Infinity, New Avengers, and Avengers. This was another great issue in the entire Infinity saga that's going on with Marvel. With we see Captain Marvel. She's been captured by the Builders. And there's all kinds of ex-Nihilios and the Alephs and just all these. The yellow ones are like the ex-Nihilio, but they had like their own names. So that one that killed himself for that planet had his own name.
Right.
But they're all different forms and stuff. They don't all look the same. That was cool. But we also see in this issue what's going on with the Galactic Council and how Jason, the king of the Spartax Empire, is trying to save his own skin and the skin of his people because he tries to make a deal and bargain with the Builders to save his people and give them just exactly what they want. They want Earth.
I don't know if it's so much. I mean, he keeps on saying it's to save his people, but I don't know if I really buy that. I don't know what his big beef is with Earth, but he just hates it.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, he crash landed there. Yeah, he had a relationship with a woman, had a child there. That's Peter Quill from the Guardians of the Galaxy. But I don't understand why there is the hatred, this backwater planet, and that's what I love when the Supreme Intelligence puts him in his place, and he's like, our battles with the Spartax have resulted in this percentage of Spartax winning. Our battles with Earth have resulted in a higher winning percentage for Earth.
Yes.
They are more we are more fearful of them than we are of you and your huge empire.
Yep.
I just love that other races understand something about Earth here is different about it. And this issue is intense.
Yes.
But the whole Infinity has been intense there.
And I gotta just give me a moment here. That last issue of New Avengers, whenever Black Dwarf attacked Wakanda,
Yes.
and Black Panther was there along with Shuri, his sister, the queen of Wakanda.
Right.
I love the dialogue that Hickman hit them with whenever Black Dwarf started his attack and Black Panther met him on the battleground, and he just flat out told him, he said, "I am the Black Panther, King of Hell, and soon to be your new lord." It was, and the way Mike Diodato drew that scene where Black Dwarf has already punched and missed and hit the ground, and the ground's caving in. Black Panther is holding on to his head right above him and telling him, "I'm about to own you." It was just awesome, man. It was fantastic, and the dialogue with this issue as well. I love it when the Supreme Intelligence is telling them, we're more afraid of Earth than we are of you. And the way the builders, the dialogue of how they rejected the proposal.
Right.
They're like, "You have nothing that we can't already have. You're coming to us with nothing.
Right.
We have everything. This is just a momentary distraction at best."
This was encrypted. Oh, we were able to break through the encryption. We know where you're at now.
Yes, exactly.
See ya.
I know, this whole Galactic Council they have no idea what they're facing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just another example in the storyline that they just the scope and the power of the builders,
Which just makes the inevitable comeback from behind victory that will happen for this ragtag group of members of the council and Earth and whatnot, all the more glorious, because everything just seems totally doomed right now.
Exactly.
And I have to say, who can right now at this point in time claim to be a fan of Namor after Namor sits there and like, it's Wakanda.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what?
That was smart of him. But then you're like, oh man.
and he's about to be in the all new Invaders book. I don't know how he explains himself with something like that.
I know.
I don't know. He'll redeem himself some way. I know he will. Guys, Mighty Avengers, just real quickly to wrap this up. Mighty Avengers, really good book here. Al Ewing, totally impressed with his writing. He gave you something that you had to sit down and read. This was not a crapper book where you go and read it for 2 minutes. Well, maybe if you're a 10-minute crapper. This is not just something you sit down and read there in 2 minutes. It took some time. I loved. So many people will hate on Greg Land's art, the light box art. Ugh. He draws better than you do. He draws better than I do. And don't you want someone that can at least draw something that looks pretty? I don't care if he's copying some other picture or something. It at least looks pretty. It's not some of those Boom Studio books or something like that where they just get like 4th or 5th rate artists that know how to draw something a little better than a stick figure.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, that's what they do. That's where they cut their costs, because they're getting the writers to write the books. But his Rambeau's costume, Spectrum's costume, is classic while looking modern. It's sexy, and the way they bring these characters together does not feel like this forced, here's minority character 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. No, they have a reason for being where they're at and for joining the battle when they join the battle. My guess, the weird spider character with the nunchucks, Night Thrasher. That's my guess. Don't know if that's who it is. We'll see. Captain America, number 11.
You're gonna go there?
I spit on you.
Oh,
Rick Remender, you're a great writer. Love your work on Uncanny X-Force. Love your what was Fear Agent. You've done some amazing work here. You don't know who Captain America is. You flat out don't know. And what I'm going to say this too. You wrote one of the most misogynistic roles for Sharon Carter. You make her kill a child, whether or not she really did, and then you kill her off. No, it was not a heroic battle, a heroic death for her. It was something that was totally out of place and uncalled for. Now you take it one step further with Captain America here, and you have him first off in his room, in his asylum. What do you call it? His place to get away, asylum.
yeah, I mean, you can. His home.
Yeah.
I thought it was his home.
His home. That he has this memorabilia of himself. He is not vain. He would have memorabilia of the soldiers fighting in the wars that they fought in. There would be nothing there about him. There would not be. And if he decided he had to give all this up and not hold on to the past, which is ridiculous, because for how long has Captain America held on to the past in an important way? No, we cannot give up these ideals. No, we cannot back down from this. No, I've seen tyranny before. This is something we cannot allow to have happen again. He remembers the soldiers that fought beside him every single time. Why? Because he remembers the past and he holds on to it. To give that up and to just say, torch it, burn it, that is absolutely out of character. Give it to the Smithsonian. Do something with it to honor it. It was just way out of character. You don't know how to write Captain America. Leave the book now. I'm going to find where they are petitioning to get you off the book. You need to be gone because you don't know the character. Read Ed Brubaker's Captain America. He loved and he understood the character. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. I am far from the only one. Far from it. You have to find many, read through many of those letters before you find something that you can print in the back of your book praising it. I guarantee it right now.
And on that note,
yeah, I love Captain America. Also, guys, Love and Rockets, the covers. This is the first 50 covers that came out with the original series here. This is an amazing book. They've gone through and kind of recolored. You've seen me wear that shirt before. Of course, you've seen it with that color right there. This is an amazing book. Love and Rockets, one of the best series out there, and I just love this is 30 years of Love and Rockets that they are giving the proper attention and putting out companion books and all sorts of stuff here with goodies to learn the background story behind the series. Pick that up from your comic shop. I know we have another copy that we just got in of this book. Read it. On that note, sorry about the rant there. It happens sometimes. You have to get something off your chest. There are plenty of good books to read, just not Captain America.
I appreciate the passion.
Join us next week. We'll talk about other great books that are coming out. It's a light week here that's going to be coming up, so we'll see what's coming out there. I'm really looking forward to Wonder Woman, her Cheetah book that's coming out there. We didn't talk about Walking Dead because this guy here hasn't read it yet. Why was it not on the top of your stack? I don't know.
Because they ghosted and all this other stuff.
It was awesome. That's all I can
only
say.
read one comic at a time.
I'll read two.
That's awesome.
Join us next week, guys. This is Chris. This is Randy. We're here for Excalibur Comics in Shreveport, Louisiana. We also have our site in Texarkana, Texas. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for pressing play. Thanks for sharing. Please don't unsubscribe just because of that one little rant right there. We'll see you next week.
Take care. Bye.